What's up, y'all? We got a bad movie, a good movie, and someone really cool.
Wow, we've got a good movie that I'm going to be defending and this other thing.
Yeah, NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Yeah, we have another wonderful episode of specials and movie reviews, sort of. I'm going head to head against a heavy hitter in the movie review genre. To my right, the awesome CKR. Introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, it's your twisted girl next door here, Chauncey K Robinson.
She made a video about
Yeah, tell them the origin story. Let's talk about the origin story. It's like a superhero versus supervillain.
Super villain. This is on
I'll
this
take
side. She reviewed Bird Box, which is, an alright movie. And then she said that Bird Box was better than A Quiet Place.
And I gave some really great reasons in my original video that you can find on my YouTube channel, where I did why A Bird Box was a stronger movie than A Quiet Place. And then this one right here.
Then I was like, she's tripping and we need to fight it out, because I know you guys are gonna hold me down, because you know that Bird Box is not as good as A Quiet Place.
Right.
All right, cool. Well, here's how we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let her get her pros out. You know why Bird Box is good, just not great. And then I'm gonna put my pros out. You know what I'm saying? Because we know A Quiet Place is on point. And then, then she can do a little rebuttal thing. Bird Box is already a first round knockout. Right.
Wow.
But, without further ado, why is Bird Box so great?
Well, I will tell you why Bird Box is so great. There's a few reasons why Bird Box is so great. One of them being the storytelling, narrative. I'm a total narrative geek. And one of the things that Bird Box did was that it earned the stakes that were going on there. There was a well-rounded character growth. It took place over a number of years, and it showed that growth in such a great pacing of way. It was a well-paced movie, had great characterization that you grew with, and the emotional stakes were earned. The main character's growth in loving the children and things of that nature were earned, as opposed to being contrived like a certain other movie when it came to certain emotional stakes that happened. Also, the monster. We didn't see the monster in Bird Box, right? And some people may think we live in a time of, let's show everything. But this is also a time of less is more. Because the thing with Bird Box is that it was in your mind. It wasn't just something that would come and swoop you up if you, stepped on a branch. But it was also something that basically made it so that when you saw it, it got your deepest, darkest fears. How do you face that? That's real terror right there. It's physical and mental, which is something that was very well thought out. And also, just a bonus pro that the Bird Box was the original idea. Let's talk about the history of A Quiet Place, which actually everyone tried to claim that Bird Box was somehow copying A Quiet Place, when in actuality, Bird Box is based off of a book that came out years before A Quiet Place was even a thought in any of those producers' minds. So let's give it up for the original.
Okay, see, A Quiet Place is a dope movie. Here's why. A Quiet Place is a very tight, lean film. There's no fat on the film. Unlike other films, it's very tight, it's streamlined, you know what's going on, you know what we want to do. Also, this film starts at the beginning of the story. There's none of this like jump in the front, jump in the back, you go in the future, you're coming back to the past. You ain't gotta worry about all that. You ain't gotta worry about, we in the past, we in the present, we back in the dude in the water and stuff. We ain't gotta worry about that. This story starts where it should, at the beginning of the story, so you can follow the narrative properly. Also, yes, there is a monster, and this monster is scary. And the way to defeat this monster is well displayed in the film, as opposed to another film where it's just, I don't know, run around and bust your head and stuff with your eyes closed. And my last point of why A Quiet Place is extremely dope is the way they use the family to tell the story about the world. You see their discussions, you see their relations to each other, and you see, even though they got a daughter that could use a butt whooping, through their daughter, you see the play of protection inside of that world. You know what I'm saying? You see the protection. The father's trying to protect them and the son and the daughter, and also prepare them. That's how they tell you about the world. They ain't got to drive in the car. They ain't got to run over dead people. You know what I'm saying? You turn on flashlights and set off fires, and you know, oh snap, there's other people out there. Oh snap, this is real. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be, keep it on the hush. A Quiet Place is the best. Matter of fact, you know what? I got one more bonus.
Oh, he's got a bonus.
You care about this family.
Wow.
You care. There aren't like 6 or 7 extra people that you know do not matter to the story. You get the people in this family. That's all you need. You don't need an extra 5, 6, 7 other people that you're just gonna take to a grocery store because you know they just need to be killed off. You get only what you need and not some extra filler like some other movies.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I'm rolling. So you got some cons on my movie?
I do have some cons. I got a few cons on your movie. I actually got some bonus cons based off of the stuff you just said.
What?
Okay, so he talks about the monster. Can we talk about that monster for a second? Can we talk about the fact that this monster looked like a ripoff of a Stranger Things monster? You know what I'm talking about if you saw Stranger Things. You know that monster basically looks like a CGI, heavy CGI. Lord help us, the CGI. Can we take a moment of silence for the overly used CGI when it came to those monsters? Looking like we were playing like a PS4 game or something like that when they were visible. They weren't scary. They weren't scary. They had like claws for elbows and things of that nature. One of the great things about Bird Box was the fact that it left it to your imagination. How scary is it to think about what could it be? What could that thing be? As opposed to some monster that has claws and yeah, maybe it might take the kid or something of that nature. Also, I want to talk about the emotional stakes. You know, you spoke about the family. And you also leaned towards talking about the daughter who needed a butt whipping. A lot of the decisions that were made were contrived. You know, the question, this conflict between the father and the daughter. The fact is, spoiler alert for those. I'm guessing if you watch,
we're assuming you've seen both of these films.
This, he dies. The father dies because he takes a moment to distract the monster, and somehow because his daughter and the son were making stupid decisions. You know what I mean? They got themselves in trouble. And there's things like that when it comes to narrative that to me, I feel like if there are real stakes, that it's basically no matter what you do, no matter how smart you are, something bad can happen, which was displayed in Bird Box, right? In Bird Box, they were very much on their P's and Q's given everything that was happening, but things still went wrong. You know, how scary is that to have everything planned and it's happening on the fly? They have no idea what's going on, which let's talk about the fact you say, you know, oh, the monster, and oh, you care about these kids, and oh, you know, you have these people in Bird Box that we know are going to get killed. But let's remember what genre we're talking about here. These are horror films. There's supposed to be a body count. That's fine. The thing about the Bird Box was, even when those characters are on for snippets of time, a majority of them, yes, there were some throwaway characters, but a majority of them you did care about for that short moment of time that you did see them, because they did such a good job of forming the connections with our main protagonists, okay? And then I want to talk about the very neatly packaged ending to A Quiet Place. And how somehow, after all these years of the father trying to figure things out and all this other thing or whatever, they finally realized, and let's not act like we didn't see this coming from a mile away, the whole thing with the daughter's ear, that was going to be a thing. I mean, it was paint by the numbers foreshadowing, right? And the thing is, they make it so it's so neatly, package towards the end that it takes the father to die, it takes for this thing to happen, for them to realize this is the sound that kills them. Oh my gosh. Listen, I find it very hard to believe that they were the ones that discovered it, that somehow someone in the government or some scientist or something somewhere else hadn't discovered it. It just felt really contrived to me. I like the fact in Bird Box that so much stuff was left open-ended. What world do they exist in now? That there's some entity out there that can control their minds. That's the real fear factor. And let's remember, this is a horror film. You can talk about a family movie all you want, but this is a horror film, and you have to put in the fear. And that's what Bird Box played on, your fear, the viewer.
Now my cons. First of all, I'll just say this. What's more scary than your family being in danger? Your brother, your mother, your sister, your father, you know what I'm saying? Auntie being in danger.
There was no aunt.
But let's talk.
There's no aunt in this
Look,
film.
don't worry about that part. Just leave that part out. All right. I want to talk about your ending.
Yeah, let's talk about my ending.
Oh yeah, that horrible ending. All right. We get to the end, and I tell my wife, I'm sitting with my wife, I'm like, bet money she named them kids at the end of the movie. And she was like, I was like, bet money. No, they did me one better in Getting Bad. Not only did she name the children, but she named them after their parents, which is so cliche. But, oh no, they got more for you. Another con, so the OBGYN made it? Really though? Really? So apparently, she was able to make it and made it and beat her there. Beat her down to the blind people all the way through the woods. Did she ride them same rapids with her eyes closed?
Maybe she did.
Yes, maybe she did. Now let's take it to the next con. This river is the most navigatable river. All right, you know what? How about this? I'll take down your movie in one thing. The Bird Box Challenge and people getting hurt is a perfect example of why everyone would be dead in this film. This girl hit the Whitewater Rapids, son, with 2 kids in a little tugboat or something. I don't know what that thing is. Them little boats you go fishing on. Really? And then it crashed, and she got both kids, and she lost one kid. I'd be like, you know what? Good on you, movie. You know what I'm saying? Taking a step forward, taking a risk. But she saved both their kids. Then they got lost again in the woods. Bruh, and you blind? Come on now. Now, let's also talk about some more dumb stuff. So, we just gonna let people up in the house? Now, I know they're gonna try to say, oh, but the girl said, when I was outside, you let me in, so I wanted to let somebody else in. The second they let him in, I was like, he bad, right? Look, it was too cliche on so many stuff. And whether it was a book or not, it was late to the party. That's right. Quiet Place was there on the big screen first, and they weren't as cliched. Every movie has a couple cliches here and there. But yo people up in that house, clicheing it up all over the place. Oh yeah, it was bad because your movie had 3 actors. All right, my movie had what? 5 up in the joint? 5 actors. You had mama, daddy, son, daughter. Got a little baby. Baby even did well. You know what I'm saying? Baby knew to be quiet. They put him in the box. Baby was like, shh. But you got people having sex for no reason. I mean, MGK did kind of alright, but still. This John Malkovich, Sandra Bullock, and Trevante, I can't remember his name, but the brother from Moonlight. Those are your only real actors. Everybody else was weak.
That's not true. There was the man from Get Out. He did a great job.
Lorel?
Yeah.
All right, Lorel, you my boy. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Lorel.
All those actors did really well. They served their purpose. You're forgetting that this is a genre film. There's tropes in every film. Tropes aren't inherently bad.
They were too telegraphed. I should not be able to see something coming a mile away.
I saw plenty coming a mile away with A Quiet Place.
No.
I just told you, I saw that ending coming and that was the crux of the movie. You can talk about little tropes here and there, but let's talk about the crux of your movie.
What about the crux of your movie?
Was painted.
Whitewater rafting.
Did you know? Do we know who the monsters were in the Bird Box? Was that somehow figured out?
Let's not forget. That's my favorite bonus of all bonuses. You got a monster movie with no monster.
It was a monster. It was very much a monster.
No,
There
it ain't no
are
monster. I ain't
plenty-
see it. Did you?
It just shows your sensibilities when it comes to, like I said, some people want show me. And some, we can deal with the fact that some things are a bit more psychological. That was the real terror.
This movie, Bird Box, is a film that had a strong beginning and middle, and in the end, dropped the ball. They fumbled on the 2-yard line.
No.
And the end of my movie, what happens? You find out, oh snap, this is how you kill him. And then when you end the film,
How neat.
hold up, but at the end you got Emily Blunt like, and they all come into the house, son.
Right.
You know it's going down.
Sure.
It's like Alien and then Aliens. You got the horror movie, and then you know the next movie, it's gonna be on and popping. That's how you end the film. That's how you end the film. On the she didn't go, oh honey, I love you, and I'm gonna name you your middle name or something. No, she didn't do that. All right, she ain't do all that. She was like, you know what? Movie over. Lean, to the point, family, bam, that's it. And they killed a kid. Did they kill any kids in Bird Box? Nope.
They killed plenty of people in Bird Box.
We ain't see it.
Why do you need to kill a child? Why do you need to kill a child
Look,
to somehow say
don't-
these
don't-
monsters are scary?
Now she's trying to make me. I'm just saying.
Like,
In a real world.
I'm just saying, in a real world, there wouldn't be rip-off monsters from Stranger Things and the government not being able to blast these things away. The thing about a Bird Box's monster that made it as terrifying as it could, because how could the government fight that? How could anybody fight this monster that got inside your mind? We saw in A Quiet Place that he could fight them. You could fight these monsters if you ended up facing off them. There was a chance you could make it. Okay, that's fine. You got a monster that's kind of scary and you can kind of fight. But then that leads to the question of, why hasn't the military and everyone been able to take these things on?
Because they were so fast, they overran
Wow.
everyone. Do you know how hard it is to be quiet? I
You
want
know how much money is in our military government alone? Not to mention the whole
But they don't know about
world.
screeching sounds and stuff. They don't know about that. They're just paying for bombs, all right? They ain't paying for like radio frequencies.
There's totally a way that they could have been defeated because of the fact that the monsters were purely physical.
Well,
These monsters
What
were
about
purely
your monsters?
physical.
Just send out a whole bunch of blind people and boom, there you
No,
go.
you actually couldn't send out a whole bunch of blind people because yes, the blind people wouldn't be able to be affected, but how could the monster be defeated?
They
That's
just
the difference.
grab 'em
There's
and-
no way to know how to defeat these monsters. That's really terrifying. These things, we don't know if it was biblical, could have been the end days, as one of the characters are saying, could have been some aliens from outer space. One of the great things that the great scientist Einstein once said, and he would be
boy.
on my side when it comes to this film.
No, he wouldn't.
Is one of the greatest things is the mysterious. And that's what Bird Box played into, the mysterious. And you want a lean movie, fine. What it just shows is that some people have a leaning towards wanting to be told the whole entire plot, wanting everything right in front of them, wanting to be able just to see some action and someone cock a gun. That's awesome. But when it comes to a Bird Box,
But you did say that was awesome.
Sandra Bullock did, her character, if you understood from the beginning what her character was going through, there was a lot of symbolism in this movie. You know, there was a lot of symbolism when she paints the picture and she's like, this is a thing of people not being able to connect. That was her thing throughout the whole movie, not being able to connect, naming them boy and girl. And yes, maybe there was a chance that you could see that, yeah, she's going to end up naming them towards the end, but that was a satisfying knowledge to know that she would get to that point as a character. Because up to that point, she was cold. She was distant in some regards. You know, and we got to a point where it built up. And I think what it comes from with the Bird Box is a movie that deals with terror, but also deals with strong characterization. The thing about A Quiet Place that felt contrived is like, yes, you have a family unit. It makes it so the viewer has to kind of care about this family unit. What a Bird Box didn't try to lean on with
you don't have to care about them.
Actually, you do because it's the whole family unit. With the Bird
You can watch
Box,
the movie and be like, this family whack. But you care because you saw that acting.
No,
and
that's
it was,
not why
and
you
it was
care.
sign
You
language
care
in
because the
people.
whole thing is the family. Like that, it made you. The whole thing with the father dying was completely contrived. He did not have to die. It was one of those things of emotional porn where they make it so that they contrive a situation to make you cry and really
she
feel
said,
it.
just stop, all up in his face, and you was like, dang, yo, this brother trying. He trying his best. And you wanna say your movie got Symbolism? Well, how about my symbolism? All right?
Well, how about your symbolism?
Emily Blunt, straight up pregnant. All right? Straight up pregnant. Bringing forth the new world.
No.
And then also protecting the new world.
Not
also,
using protection and getting pregnant in the first place was actually not very smart.
They had a
Let's
they
talk
had a
about
little box.
contrived situation.
They had a box
here.
that they put the baby in. It was completely fine.
Yeah, let's just depend on the baby not crying and such. Yes, let's depend on all of that. As though this wasn't
The
contrived.
box was soundproof.
As though this wasn't contrived.
Yours wasn't contrived? Oh.
What I'm saying is that the thing is that
here's the
things were
contrived
earned.
part of Bird Box. We don't really have a story for this journey. So let's break up this journey and go to a house full of
You
people
don't have a
because it's
story?
going to be boring. It's going to be boring if they're just on the river, and we know it will because we ain't got nothing. We can't give you anything. We had a dope opening when she was like, "You do what I say, and you don't do nothing. You keep your eyes closed, and you don't go where I say go."
That was nice rendition.
That's exactly how she said it. And the kids was like,
"Oh my gosh!"
But then
he's just gonna act out the movie for us now.
But then they had nothing else during the journey. It was just the river, nothing else. They didn't have nothing else going on. They didn't stop to get no food or whatever. They might have, but they didn't show us because they didn't have nothing. So they had to go back because they couldn't tell their narrative straight through and give you a house full of people that was your average zombie, bottle film, The Mist, anything where people are trapped in a house.
You act like
together.
That's inherently bad. You had it so
it's inherently bad when your story has no other options.
There are plenty of movies that have it so the whole thing is based on a family and their trials and tribulations. A Quiet Place was not innovative or different in doing that. You are pointing to Bird Box.
Be quiet the whole
you
time.
are pointing to Bird. Oh my gosh!
Do you know how hard that is? You saw how that baby got killed at the beginning playing with a toy. What if you cough too loud? Boom, you dead.
There are plenty of ways through science that you can make things soundproof and such. What I'm going at is the fact of the terror that, when you get inside the house, you can finally see. But the fact is, when you go outside, who knows what these people were seeing? Who knows what was making them commit suicide? There wasn't some monster that if I step on a twig, it may come out and get me, and I might actually have a fighting chance because you can beat them with a shovel, as we saw. But the thing is, with Bird Box,
after it was wounded,
with Bird Box, it was this idea that once your eyes set on it, and what's with this thing with those who have, mental issues and things of that nature, that somehow they could see it. And then they would become somewhat of, worshipers of whatever this entity was. The world was turning mad.
It would have been great if they could have told that straightforward while she was on her journey.
Why do you need a straightforward story? It's called narrative.
I don't mind jumping back and forth. They used it as a trope. They leaned on it way too hard.
They didn't lean on it. They were telling a story because they put together a book in a great cohesive movie and did a great job of it. That's a big feat because there are plenty of adaptations of books that don't do a good job of being able to tell this whole story. Could you imagine if they had tried to do it straight through with starting then 5 years down the line and then they get to the rapids? They did a plot device in which they showed you where she was and then they told you how she got there. That was effective.
Effectively cheesy.
Listen, I don't know.
It's up to you.
I feel like, okay.
Take those rapids.
All right, y'all.
All right, take those rapids in your head. Take the OBGYN.
I feel like we're not gonna reach a consensus on this. So I feel like we need to lean it towards the people.
Okay, you know what? Give it to the people. Look, guys, I want you to comment down below. We're gonna put a Twitter poll up, poll on YouTube, and maybe Instagram. Yeah. Go to her, go to her channels, all of her, Miss Chauncey KR?
Miss Chauncey KR on my Twitter and Miss Chauncey K on my Instagram. I also, on my YouTube channel, have fuller reviews of both A Quiet Place, which I did like, but I also liked A Bird Box a lot better. And I also give a recent review of that and a little bit more in depth about why it's so awesome. And I actually even do an angle of why it's better than A Quiet Place. You can check that out on my YouTube channel.
Anyway, guys, check out the polls on her channel. Vote for A Quiet Place. Because Bird Box...
Vote for what's right. Vote for a Bird Box.
Vote for what's right, because a vote for Bird Box is a vote for a horrible future.
Wow.
That's right. A Quiet Place, the name you know. So, guys, before we bounce, where can the wonderful people find you online?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Miss Chauncey KR, on Instagram at Miss Chauncey K, and of course on my YouTube channel where I discuss all things horror and dark fantasy and occasional dark superheroes as well on my YouTube channel, The Twisted Girl Next Door TV.
That's right. So, guys, you know who I am. That's right. NERDSoul. Thanks for rolling through. And remember, going to get that vote on because, you know what? I've already said it. If I lose, if the people vote for the lesser of the two films, I'll do my next video with 2 blindfolds on. All right? 2 blindfolds. All right?
Okay.
And I'll I don't know, title you the queen of I don't know, bird boxes. I don't know.
Queen of bird boxes. And if I lose, which I will not, I have nothing planned because I don't plan on conceding.
So guys, thanks for checking us out. From us to you, we're just saying peace.
Let's get creepy together, y'all.